All right, breakdown number one, right? Breakdown number one, he's right there. Now, breakdown number one, we have a feeder house chain problem. Not really a big deal, just a deal. So I'm going to tell you the story and what happened right there. All right, so this combine does have 2100 thresher hours on it, and you can see what happened. The chain had broken a long time ago. Kind of beat up there, wobbled around in there, finally let loose and went around a corner. I could not hear this from inside the cab. So I just took it out and I figured, well, I'm just going to take it out, retighten it and go to work, right? That's just what you should do. And then you see things like this, pieces. Well, that's kind of weird. Well, there's a wrench I would have lost. Yeah, so we spun it around, and every once in a while there's one of these chain links that's broken and kind of twisted up out of the way. So that was on Friday. It's Sunday morning now. It was Friday afternoon, about 15-20 minutes before closing time at Messick's, and I called him up expecting to just go up and buy a chain, a whole complete chain. I've done it before with the TR96. You could see that. I did not save the old TR96 chain because if I had saved it, it was shot. I mean, that thing was shook. It's a little different than what the new one is. This has 3 bars and the TR96 has only 2 bars on it. You know, the width of it is a little different, but the chain itself is the same. So they didn't have it. They said it was in their warehouse. I asked them where their warehouse was, and he says, I don't know. But the last time that they got anything out of their warehouse, it wasn't in New Holland, Pennsylvania. It wasn't in any of the other ones in the United States. It was in Regina. And he didn't say it was in Regina. He says, I'm not sure. I can find out on Monday when I'm able to order it. So that pretty much told me that it was in Regina, Canada. Which the last time I got something out of Regina, Canada, it was ordered on a Monday. Didn't get it shipped in until Friday. Well, I don't have a week to sit around and jerk off. So what I did was I called Shoupe. They're an hour behind us. So they were open for that hour. Called them up. And sure enough, they're like, yeah, we got it. Should we ship it? You ship it out on Monday, you'll have it by Wednesday. It's like, nah, I'm going to get in the truck and go get it. And they were like, oh, okay. I said, what time you close? They said, noon, Saturday. Are you cold? Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to have to warm you up. Noon Saturday, we were there because they're an hour later, we arrived at 7 o'clock our time. Me and Dad slept in the truck for that hour. Then we went in, and we were out of there. We went in at 7 o'clock. We left their parking lot in Illinois yesterday at 7:09. So 9 minutes to pay the bill, load it up, and get the hell out of there. And we got home last night at 8:23, I think, was when we pulled in the driveway. 8:23 last night. Slept on, went home, went right to bed, didn't even eat. I haven't eaten yet this morning because I just don't feel like I'm hungry. And you can see that I got the new bars and all the hardware. So that's it. We're going to put it together. I'm going to finish taking this thing apart. I will show you how these go in. Very simple. You don't have to pull the feeder house. You don't have to do anything fancy pants. You just take it apart. You hook the other one up to it. You put it in there, and life is good. But the hard part is I got to lay it out here. Oh, and there's a flat tire on the 4960. I don't know if I showed that yet, but if I haven't, I am going to show it right now. Alliance tires and Goodyear tires, Titan tires, garbage tires. Those equate to garbage. So if you're running Goodyear Titans, you will have these problems. If you're running Alliance tires, you will have these problems. So here it is. Looks like a nice sidewall cut, right? Oh, wait a minute. There's one. And there's one starting. And so this is exactly what happens with Goodyear. I don't know if Alliance contracted Titan Goodyear to build these things, but these are junk. These tires I got a couple of years ago in North Carolina, and we had them on the 7530 when we got the 7530 home, we immediately put them on the 4960. This tractor does not do a lot. It does not do much anything. You can see here, started again. There's a crack there, crack there.
The inside's even worse.
There's a crack there. Yeah, the inside of these tires. This is just sidewall cracks. These are not cuts. There it is, Alliance. These are cheap. You get what you pay for, and you pay for what you get. As you can see, there's miles of tread on these things. They're just garbage. Don't buy this shit. You want to buy a good tire? BKT tires, great tires. Buy Trelleborgs. Trelleborgs, the best, in my opinion, are Trelleborg tires. If you don't believe me, well, you go to any tractor that's around here with Trelleborgs on it, and Trelleborg tires are the way to go. Why haven't I mentioned Firestone? Because Firestones are made out of round. They are made out of round. If you own Firestone tires and you're going down the road like this, it's not something wrong with your tractor, and you're not fucking your wife. It is the tires. They're Firestones. They're garbage. They've got a good tread design, but they're garbage. They're just absolute garbage. So when I watched Cole the Cornstar have to get a laser on his tires to mount them so that they were mounted correctly, so that they didn't have that lope, that just tells me that Firestone tires are garbage there as well, not just on this farm. So Trelleborg, Vredestein are my go-to tires. That's what they are. Trelleborg, Vredestein. If I'm in a pinch, Firestone, okay, but not on a rear tire, on a front tire, because you don't notice it so much. Good for 1 year, forget it. They're only good for 1 year. They're absolute trash. Titan, Goodyear, trash. Just trash. This is what happens. This is what happens. Anyways, enough railing on tires. I hate them. They're expensive. This fucking tire is $4,000 now. That's what they are in a Trelleborg. Vredestein's a little cheaper. BKT is cheaper yet, but they're like chewing gum. They last on the sidewalls, but the treads wear out pretty quick. But you don't get that sidewall splitter. Okay, you want me to take you in?
Yeah, but that's the biggest corn.
Oh yeah, the corn. Who moved it? Did you move my corn? Oh, did you move my corn? So this is that stalk of corn that was out in that field. It's a one-off deal. It's got ears, 1, 2, 3, 4 ears on it. It is something like 15 feet tall. It's standing proud on that ball of dirt. So, and it is standing on that ball of dirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, there it is. It is tall corn.
Yeah, it is a tall corn.
You got a cough, right?
Yeah.
Let's go infect Aunt Beth. Ready? Okay. All right. Okay, so. Isn't that how Timothy says it? Okay, so? No, I think that's me. Anyway, I went home. William is not feeling well. He started with a fever. So I had to go home, and these guys took up the job of putting in the new feeder house chain. Now, these feeder house chains are very easy to change if you know what you're doing. You don't have to do it the way they teach you in school, because there's a better way, right?
Well, we had the feeder house off, so we just yanked it out afterwards.
Yeah, but that involves playing with strings or chains or cables and stuff.
We dropped it in the backside and then shoved it back on.
Okay, so he went to school to do this.
Yeah.
But I've done this before a couple of times in my life, and when it's real simple. You break this apart here, because there's bolts there, boom, boom, and then you attach the new one to the old one, and you run it in backwards over the top, because as you run it in over the top, the bottom one pukes out the bottom, and it kind of rolls up and folds up on the bottom, real nice and neat like that. And then the top one comes up. When it reaches this point here, then you just take this off of the new one. I wasn't here for their operation. What I would have done was just taken some baling twine and tied it up and then cinched them together as tight as I possibly could with the 3 pieces here, and then put the bolts in. I'm not sure is that how you guys did it, or?
Pretty much.
Okay, so they learned. I was messing with it the other day. They did a good job. It's in, and I'm happy. They did a fairly good job, and that leads us to this part here. This was broken when I bought the combine, so I had bought a new one, and this was the perfect opportunity to put it in, because the old one, we had to take all that stuff off. There was a broken bolt, one of these studs, and please don't snap it off, you will cry. Yeah, these are the pins. We got to save these things. The new chain I thought was made in India. It is not. It's actually a Drives USA, which makes me quite happy. So, to recap what had happened with this chain, it's probably an original chain, and I would love to be able to see one or two of them, but what had happened on some of them, why can't it, it seemed like, oh, here's one. See, that hole is busted out there. There's one that's completely busted off here. Where else? There's several of those like that. And these links right here, there was a couple of them that I saw, and I think they counted 3 that were broken and just kind of hanging out, and it was held on by just that one plate. So that all had to be redone. It was either buy new chains and keep the bars, but the bars have damage to them. You can see it there on some of them. And to me, it was like, okay, let's go ahead and buy the whole new chain. New Holland didn't have this thing in stock. If I haven't said that already, I'm saying it again now. It wasn't in stock. It was in a warehouse, I believe in Regina, Canada, which is days away from me. I have no desire to wait until Regina gets their shit together and gets it to me. So I called Shoupe. Shoupe had the new one in stock. Me and Dad jumped in the pickup truck, and in 26 hours we were there and back again. We rolled up on them at 6 o'clock in the morning their time, which was 7 o'clock in the morning our time. We waited the hour, walked through the front door at 7 o'clock. They had it packaged up from the phone call the night before at 10 minutes to closing. Had it boxed up and ready to go. And we were out of there at 7:09 their time. We pulled in here last night at 8:06 our time. It was a 12-hour drive, 12 hours and 6 minutes drive each way. So 24-hour drive, and we're back in here. Now we're ready to go. Unfortunately, it's raining. But you know what? It's together. They've got it together, and we've tensioned everything. That is here. What the hell? Oh, that's Timothy. You can see on the inside there, all brand new. I'm quite proud of the fact that it is in and ready to go. I'm noticing something a little bit weird. It looks like it's not centered. You guys sure you're on up there? It doesn't look like it's centered. It's off to one side for some reason, from what I can see. You sure it's on the... Did you look up in there to see if it's on the sprockets?
Probably not.
Let's take a look. Let me get up in there, because that'll be fun to edit out. You guys then would be pulling the feeder house off. They didn't get it right. So, in order to put these chains together correctly and stick them in the feeder house, if you buy it from New Holland, the thing is fully assembled, and I think they put them on a stretcher rack so that they're pulled evenly across the bars. So what I do if I get them like this, now this is not the first one that I've done. I had the TR70 years ago, redid one with a Shoupe feeder house chain. Had the same problem. When you tighten it up, if you don't have it stretched tight, your one chain will be like this and the other one will be like this, and it's like, what the, because they're in a TR70 or TR96, it's 3 chains. This one has 4 chains because it's a 3-bar machine. So when you tighten it up before it's in and tensioned, they're like this. So that's what happened, and it threw it off the sprockets in the back. We actually had to pull that whole thing out of there, loosen it up, and then reinstall it the way I would do it, whether it's the right way or not. But I guess they missed that memo, and it's fine. They got to learn. They're young men, and they got to learn how to do it. So what you do when you run that whole chain up in there, if you have to assemble your feeder house chain, run it up in there, only tighten the bolts, the nuts on those bolts enough that they don't fall out in the assembly process. And then run it all up in there, tension everything the way it's supposed to be tensioned for the feeder house chain. That will set the cogs, the chain in the cogs in the back, and on the roller in the front, everything should be centered correctly. Then make sure it is, look up top, look in the back, then tension it, and then one by one, tighten those bolts up, turn it, tighten a bolt up, turn it, tighten a bolt up, turn it, all the way until everything is tensioned and tight and everything is good the way it's supposed to be. Now, if you don't do that, you're going to have the problems that they had, which is a chain that derailed in the back, and that's just, it sucks. So, but anyways, these next clips you will enjoy just as much as I did. Alright, so the feeder house chain is working wonderfully. I don't hear any weird noises or anything. Corn's coming in. Pretty good. We're in that 200 bushel range there, 200 plus. Until you get into a spot like this, and then it's like, what are you gonna do, right? Up, 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 and then down, back down. Yeah, these hills are rolling hills in here. But, yeah, it's working. Good. Doing really good. This is a replant. It's like a 101-day variety here. It's doing quite well. I'm not going to complain. You can see the colors there. Yellow is like 160, something like that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the legend. I'm in a poor part of the field, believe it or not, but I'm pretty happy. I'm not going to complain. For what I got into this corn crop, I am the Cheshire Cat, man. I'm smiling. I'm pretty happy. Combine's running good, and as you know, I've only got about in total $130,000 into this combine, so you know, what do you what's 130,000, right? It's like, well, no big deal. No big deal. So I do have to get a grain platform for the I got to get a grain platform for the soybeans, but other than that, and I'm only going pretty slow. It's kind of rainy out there, but I don't have time to wait. My moisture claims it's 28%, but I don't think it is. I know it's not because it's leveling off in the hopper there, but it is yielding really good. This 12-acre field is really doing pretty well. I know people like to see what goes on here. That must be Tim back with a wagon. If he drops a wagon, I'll be good. Oh, okay. I gotta kind of count. I'm 3/4 full. I am not gonna make it across this field. I'm not gonna make it across this field. Shit. Anyway, yeah, because there's the camera. That's showing that I'm not gonna make it across this field. Anyway, yeah, that's all right. We've already pulled over 1,000 bushels, I think, out of this field. Let's see what my performance is. So far, I've done 1,013 bushels of dry corn, 1,200 of wet, and it's a 12 acre field, and I might be halfway done. So it's claiming it's 146 wet, but I know that the moisture tester on this thing is not accurate. It's not accurate. It just isn't accurate. But anyways, enough said.